Good morning, Coach. Just two from me here. What we saw at practice yesterday is what we're going to see game time here tonight.
Yes.
Okay. As far as last one here, as far as Parker Kelly is concerned and getting a chance to play in his first NHL game, how much of a injection of enthusiasm is that for the rest of the guys when they've worked with this young man in the offseason, for the last couple of years and then getting a chance to see this?
Well, Parker's a guy that, he does it right all the time, plays 100 miles an hour, finishes checks, and a guy that, he's going to have to carve a role out for himself in the NHL, doing it right and, and bringing energy and emotion every night. And he's done that throughout a tough season in the American Hockey League, obviously no playoffs and what have you down there. And I just think it's a good reward for him to get an opportunity and show everyone that, if you work hard and you do it right, the NHL is a possibility. So it's just a one-game sample for him and see how he does.
Bruce Garriock, Post Media.
DJ, a few things for me. How do you kind of want to see your team finish here tonight?
Well, I want to play hard. I think one thing that can be said about us is even when we weren't winning, we play hard every night. And, as a group, we track, we work, we do all those things. And there's no reason why you can't continue on doing that for one more night. And, we're looking at a Toronto team that's, doesn't look like they're resting anyone. And that's better. That makes the game so much more legit. They got to get their team ready for the playoffs. And, when I look at their team on paper, that's a real hockey team over there, and they're ready to go now, and they have an opportunity to do something special. And we get an opportunity to play against them tonight, so we'll be ready.
And I just want one other thing, DJ, just what kind of maturity, what areas of maturity have you seen with this group you've seen guys like Drake Bathurst and Josh Norris on be able to emerge?
Well, I think in the leadership department amongst themselves, their own accountability towards how we have to play and how you have to do things to win games, how you have to practice. It's more that on the day-to-day basis. I mean, any particular night, one of those guys could go off and score a bunch of goals and people talk about that for a couple of days. But for me, I look at the overall growth on a day-to-day basis, just their overall confidence level, the way they practice, the way they talk. It's so much better today than it was at the start of the year, and that usually bodes well going forward.
And I guess Team Canada's confirmed that Nick Paul and Connor Brown are going. It's been a different year. Maybe they're not guys in the past who would get an opportunity. A good chance for them, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Connor Brown's had as good a year as anyone. 20 goals in a shortened season, and can play in all situations. So it's certainly an honor to play for your country. Nick Paul, he could play for anyone, anytime, I think, no matter what the team, no matter what the skill set. I think a coach would always find a role for him. He can play center, right wing, left wing, play low, can play on the power play, penalty kill. So you can't have enough of those guys on your team. It's a great honor for Nick to put himself on this stage, but we're certainly happy to have him.
And I've seen some speculation from some of the American writers that Jake Sanderson is going. Would that be good for a kid his age to get the opportunity to play at that tournament?
Absolutely. The more opportunity, especially to go over there and play in a big, tournament like that against some of the better players and older players, with really nothing to lose. I mean, you're going over there. I think they have a really young team that's more development based. So if he ends up going over there, it's great for him, and he's only going to continue to get better. I mean, every time I watch him play, he looks better and better and better. So we look forward to the day he's here. And the more he plays, the more he'll be ready when he gets here.
At Tidcombe, Senators.com.
Hey, DJ, just with this Maple Leafs lineup and some of the younger guys in your team, how important will last change be tonight?
Well, I mean, Matthews, Marner, Hyman, outside of McDavid, they go head to head. Who's the best line in our division? You go night by night. I mean, one night it's Matthews' line and Marner. The next night it could be McDavid. So if you're not prepared to play the right way when they're on the ice, they can take you apart. And certainly we're going to want to have Zaitsev out there as much as possible against them. And responsible forwards. We're not going to match hard here, but we're going to make sure that we're putting guys in good spots. We don't want young guys to be hemmed in their zone the entire night. So it's good experience for them, though, to see what a real 1A line looks like going into the playoffs. I mean, they're ready to go and ready to go now, and we want to be that team going forward that has a chance to win a Stanley Cup. So, we'll be ready when the game starts.
Mark Broussard, Ledois.
Coach, curious what would be the plan with Gustafson after this game. Does he go back to Belleville? Does he go to the Worlds?
That'll be Pierre's decision. We'll talk, after the game and tomorrow what the situation is there.
How impressed have you been with the way he's burst onto the scene this year?
Well, yeah. I mean, one thing about goalies, you could be in any league playing anywhere, and within a month or 6 weeks, you can climb the ranks if you win hockey games and you make saves. So he's put himself on the map. He's played really well here. He looks calm back there. So it looks like we got a good one. But the thing about the NHL is longevity, and can you keep doing it? And that's the hard part about being a goalie in the NHL is you got to do it, and then you got to do it 2 nights later and 2 nights later. And it's likely the hardest position there is.
Ian Mendez, The Athletic.
Hey, DJ, just one question for you, and that would be your season kind of comes full circle. You started against Toronto. What do you remember about coming off the ice that night? You guys won 5-3. There was a real sense of optimism. Like, what do you remember about that night, and maybe even your speech to the guys in the room after that opening night win?
Well, we kind of got some fortunate breaks. We threw some pucks in and happened to score on some sloppy plays by them. That was early in the year. And I mean, anyone can win a hockey game. At that point, there's no exhibition games. So, essentially it was everyone's first game, and sometimes anything happens. And as the season went on, obviously they continued to get better at their game, and they really haven't dipped all year. For us, I don't think we said much at that time. We had to play the very next night, and we didn't win. And then we know that we didn't win, for a bunch of games after that. So there's been ups and downs, but we feel that at the end of the day, the right players got the right amount of minutes, and we ended up winning some games down the stretch here with the use of some young players, and we feel we're way ahead of where we were a year ago.
Final one this morning is from Mark Masters at TSN.
DJ, you referenced the high-end talent and the consistency, but what stands out about the Leafs and what allowed them to finish first in the division this season?
Well, no one talks about it, but they don't give up anything. They don't give up a lot of goals. If you just look at the goals against throughout the National Hockey League, the top 10 teams, they're all in the playoffs, and they all have a chance to win. So, they have the puck a ton, obviously, but if you look down the middle of their ice and on their back end, they're now starting to look like a veteran team that's ready to win. I mean, the guys they brought in are good additions. They're hungry. They all know how to play. I think Sandin might be, if he plays tonight, it'd be the only rookie in their lineup. I mean, their team is now ready, and they've gone through the growing pains, and they've gone through some tough losses, and they're a team that can certainly win right now.